The Sandbox video podcast is brought to you by smartShift, the global leader in intelligent automation for SAP transformations.
Hello, and welcome to the Sandbox video podcast. I'm your host, Joyce Kulhawick. Today, I'm speaking with Christopher Hanshew, Vice President Products for smartShift. As many of you know, smartShift offers the only comprehensive AI-powered solution for modernizing SAP legacy code. smartShift enables customers to take advantage of SAP's latest ERP innovations while still maintaining a clean core. We're going to get back to that in the course of the conversation. Chris is responsible for leading the global product organization for smartShift, which includes bringing the latest innovations in AI to market. Chris has been with smartShift at two different points during his career, logging more than 7 years of service. In addition, Chris has held similar executive product leadership roles at companies such as S&P Group, Roche, Capgemini, and EY, Ernst & Young. He's a graduate of Purdue University, where he studied industrial management. So Chris, welcome, and where do we find you today?
Joyce, it's great to talk with you today. I am currently located in Westfield, Indiana, which is a northern suburb of Indianapolis.
The crossroads of America, Indiana. And I must say, for Bostonians, it's also a big exporter of basketball stars. Larry Bird, I believe, hails from Indiana.
Yes, Brad Stevens, the Boston Celtics coach, is from Indiana as well.
There you go. So let's jump right into the conversation with a question that may actually help clear up things for a lot of people. smartShift is not a product company per se or a services company, but rather a solutions company. But your role, Chris, is billed as the leader of the product team. So help us sort that out.
Yeah, that's a great question, Joyce, and it's one that we get all the time when we're talking to customers. We call ourselves a solution company because ultimately we want to guarantee a specific outcome to our customers. These outcomes are delivered with our software, and in most cases, our software allows us to achieve about 90% automation rates. Right. So those little bits of automation that aren't available anymore, that's where our customer success team steps in. They want to deliver the remaining pieces, take care of quality assurance, and really, making sure that we meet our customer needs. So this is much different than most services organizations. Most service organizations rely very heavily on manual labor to complete these tasks. So in order for us to differentiate ourselves from a traditional SI systems integrator, we really want to focus on the fact that we're delivering solutions and outcomes to our customers.
So what does the product team actually do at smartShift?
Right. So it's very easy to actually explain this. One of the biggest differences between smartShift and other software vendors is that our customers are our internal customers. We're not selling software to internal customers. So because we're just dealing with a different customer base, we still have the same challenges that other software companies face. Right. So it's up to our product team to manage the different stakeholders across the organization. We need to make sure that we're gathering feedback from our customer projects and incorporating that back into our software. We want to make the software experience for our customer success team, our sales team, our solutioning team, all to be a top software experience, and make sure they're experiencing that as well. So really, right, it's dealing with the same types of things that other software companies do, prioritizing work, understanding the market and the market direction, and then as well as making sure that we're working with engineering to prioritize the implementation of the different activities.
Okay, great. Thanks for that clarification. So what are the most common issues that customers are facing today when they turn to smartShift for help? Can you give us some examples of exactly how you're helping them, perhaps in ways that nobody else can?
Yep. So before I get to that, let's start with a little history lesson about the ABAP language, right? Because that's what we deal with on a day-to-day basis. The ABAP language is an older language that was built back in the 70s, predominantly to support these SAP applications. And that language has evolved over time as the technologies available to us have evolved over time. With the introduction of internet technologies that happened, kind of between the 70s and today, the ABAP language has evolved from a language perspective to look more like modern development languages like Java or C++. So it's gone through this massive evolution. Right. And then because of that evolution and because of the changes SAP has made to its software, the ABAP customizations that our customers are running also have to change. So with that being said, coming back to the current market, the biggest challenge that we have today is customers are facing down this 2027 deadline that they have to move to S4HANA. And one of the biggest components that needs to be addressed during those S4HANA conversions is the amount of custom code in the system and making sure that that code will run when they complete their conversion to S4HANA. All right, so carrying that one step further, the traditional way to deal with this is with a large amount of manual labor. One of the things that makes these projects very complicated is the fact that it's a very manual process to make these adjustments to the ABAP code. Some of our customers that we've worked with estimate that this would take them up to 9 months using about 20 to 40 different resources to accomplish this task and get through these upgrades. Customers who engage with smartShift get a much different experience. So we can use our proprietary software to deliver these types of projects, oftentimes with small teams of 4 to 5 people in around 4 weeks.
So, moving to S4HANA has been a very popular topic on our program. In fact, most of our conversations are with leaders who have either made that move or are planning to make that move to S4. So from a customer perspective, what comes next on the ERP modernization journey? What else should CIOs be thinking about as they're moving forward and planning to do, and why?
Yeah, and this is very important because customers are already, they're already thinking about this question. And a lot of the market has changed. And so customers are considering about their move to S4, what they need to do in the future after that. And what I think that they should be thinking about is that the world has changed from the time that a lot of these large enterprises implemented SAP back in the 90s versus where we are today with modern cloud software. It operates much different. You get more frequent releases. You have better ways to customize the applications. Yet a lot of these large enterprises are running SAP systems that lack that flexibility. Upgrade projects are extremely long. So the CIOs should really be focusing on, okay, now that I'm on S4, now that I'm on a modern platform, how do I then take my S4 application and consider it more like these other SaaS applications I run, like a Salesforce or a Workday or a Fresh Team type of application, and really get more flexible, agile, and be able to consume innovation faster in my S4HANA environment.
So I need to just dig in a little bit more and maybe even back up, maybe for some of our audience, on clean core. What is a clean core and why should you want one?
Yes. So clean core is the hot buzz term of the market these days. I'm sure you've picked up on that, right? But every time we talk to customers about the projects they have coming up, every time that we go to a conference and engage with people at conferences, everyone's always talking about clean core and what it means. And really, if to understand what a clean core is, it's kind of back to my previous statement of, how do this is the short version, how do I make sure that my ECC system or my S4HANA system gives me more like a SaaS cloud-like experience as opposed to a legacy monolithic ECC experience? How do I upgrade it faster? And so as you bring clean core concept into that, it's really all about looking at things like, is my system operating in a cloud-like manner from an operations perspective? Can I leverage, some of the power of cloud infrastructure to size my systems, scale my systems? Mm-hmm. How clean is my data? Mm-hmm. Is my data prohibiting me from getting good analytics out of my system? Am I storing too much data, which is causing me hardware issues? Things like standardized business processes, right? Am I running standard processes? Am I optimizing some of the custom processes I have? And then am I focusing more on optimizing my strategic business processes? Then finally, we get to the topic near and dear to SmartShift, which is customizations, right? How do I take these thousands of customizations that I've built since I've started running my SAP system and reduce them? How do I ensure that it's easier for me to get through upgrades with those customizations? How do I move them to newer, more modern development paradigms and leverage new user interfaces like Fiori? And it's really about bringing all of those classical things that us ABAP developers have built over the years and making them more modern, and thus making them easier to run on your environment.
And there's so many updates and things are moving so quickly that Clean Core really allows you this flexibility to make that instead of this labor-intensive customization each time.
Exactly. SAP is starting to innovate at a much faster path. And as they innovate faster, customers that are dealing with a non-Clean Core are going to have a hard time keeping up.
So from the innovation and solution side, take us inside SmartShift's solution laboratory. What are some of the new innovations that you and your team are working on, and what are these going to mean for customers?
Yeah, and this is the stuff that's really fun to talk about. But what we're focused on right now is really how do we deliver the next generation of our software in order to help customers accelerate their path to a Clean Core. Everything that we build within our labs and our software is all about making these types of journeys easier for our customers. So what we're doing is the first thing that we have to do is we have to change our software application from looking at what, from an S4 point of view, we just used to change lines of code within an application. We have to actually change our software to convert entire applications, not just lines of code. So we've had to do a lot of refactoring within our tools just to understand applications differently. The next thing, a little bit more of a technical topic, but one that we're excited about is what we call the CDS View Transformation Engine. ABAP developers within SAP have typically written a lot of SQL statements against the SAP tables to get data out to do reporting. And what SAP has said, in order to achieve a Clean Core, you should interact with these new things we have called CDS views. If you think about the impact on a customer system, that means they would have to rewrite thousands, if not tens of thousands, SQL statements that they're using to do something differently. So we're building a brand new engine that takes in any SQL statement from a customer's ABAP programs and rewrites them to interact with these new CDS views. That's something really exciting that we're going to be rolling out in the first half of the year. And then finally, we wouldn't be an R&D type of company if we weren't starting to look at all this new great stuff around generative AI and large language models. So we're starting to dip our toes into the world of seeing how these types of technologies could help us change the way that either we develop software or take the power of our current IP, bring it together with large language models, and provide a different type of solution for our customers that maybe they've never experienced in the past.
Okay, so let's close the loop, get to the bottom line. What advice would you give CEOs and their teams, no matter where they might be on that modernization journey? What would benefit them the most?
Yeah, and I think this gets back to the topic that's really close to me and why I came back to SmartShift, and that's all about embracing automation. There are so many different ways to accomplish tasks these days. We're automating so many different parts of our business processes, of the way that we do different things. And one area that often gets overlooked are these type of functions like development, right? We're seeing massive changes and increases in productivity with generative AI. And then as well, organizations can really change the way that they take on these big S/4HANA conversions, this Clean Core journey, if they're willing to embrace the level of automation and the type of tools that we bring to the picture. It's really a game changer, considering a lot of the different market forces that are at play today.
Wonderful. Chris, thank you so much. This has been a very useful conversation. I really appreciate your time and your insight. I learned a lot. Keep up the good work.
Great. I appreciate your time today, Joyce, and it was great talking to you.
The Sandbox video podcast was brought to you by smartShift, the global leader in intelligent automation for SAP transformations.